Can you imagine, like, if dog perfume had commercials like people perfume did? It was like super dramatic, and like this really pretty dog comes in and she's like
so sensual.
So sensual. She's like, I don't know what it would be called.
Rough. Hey, it's Sue.
And Megan in the restricted section.
Today we're doing our BookTube-A-Thon Wrap Up.
Yes.
And we're drinking out of these fancy ass glasses.
Bump and grind.
Bump and grind from Ska Brewing.
And it is a coffee cream stout.
So let's try it.
Let's. We have not tasted this yet.
Chink. It's pretty tasty.
It's pretty delicious. I'm a fan.
Alright, so neither one of us stuck to our TBR.
No, we did not.
Yeah, so if you want to see our TBR video, we'll link that below. Apparently we were hilarious in it.
Apparently we're super funny. I don't know. But we did not stick to it.
I only completed 3 books. Didn't do so great, but that's more than I normally read in a week, so I still think that's a success.
Well, and this BookTube-A-Thon was hard, and like, do you guys all work full time and do this? Because if you do, please tell me how you do it, because you're my hero.
Yeah, I had no time. Well, also I just had no motivation to read during the week. Like, I was doing other things. One night I just made myself look like a wood nymph for no reason. I spent all evening making myself look like a wood nymph.
Wood nymph. I just don't, I don't know. I did not make myself look like a wood nymph. I was just a regular nymph. But
yeah, I don't understand how people read like 7 books plus all the video challenges. I guess a lot of them are like young people who probably are on summer break though.
Ooh, probably. But if y'all work full time and did this, please tell me how you did it. Because I need to know.
Yeah.
I need to know.
Do you only sleep like 1 hour a night?
Are you a superhero? Tell me. Oh.
Alright, so shall we get into what we read?
Let's do it.
Why don't you go first, since I have less books to talk about?
I completed 5 books during BookTube-A-Thon. I think I only liked 2 of them though. So
wah.
The first one that I read was Froom by John Lymington. This was the one I read for the book Older Than Me. This is like a 1960s science fiction novel. Horrible writing, just god-awful, and horribly sexist. But some of the writing was so bad that it was funny, and I was going to mark each passage that was ridiculous, and so I started to do that, and I had to stop because within like the first, the first 22 pages, I had already marked 3 passages. So I decided that would probably be a little much. But yeah, not great.
And the first one I completed was Empire, a zombie novel by David Dunwoody. And this was for the book you found out about on BookTube challenge. And unfortunately, I hated it. It's hard to even say what it's about other than zombies because the book was a mess. So I was like trying to think before we did this video, like how could I describe this book? I'm not sure.
I don't know.
It's like, it's set about 100 years after the zombie outbreak, but yet they're still in chaos, like they've somehow not gotten their shit together at all. And the government, it's set in the United States, and the government has kind of collapsed. The president turned into a zombie on national television.
That'll fuck you up. I mean, that'll throw a wrench right in it.
But yeah, the book, it was just a mess. There was so many characters. Like, this book is only like 240 some pages, I think. Oh, 290 pages. But still, there was so many characters in this 290 page book, and most of them were dead by the end. And I did not give any fucks that they were dead. All of them could have been dead, and I would have been like, meh, who cares? And there was all kinds of just like, I mean, there's a lot of gore, which some of the gore was actually done fairly well, I thought. Like, some of the violence and gore, it is a, horror novel, was actually done okay. Some of it was a little too grotesque.
Okay.
But, there was also like a lot of really weird sexual stuff thrown in for seemingly no reason. And, like, every female character was sexualized in some way, even the 13-year-old girl in it. And it was just, like...
It's just bad form.
It was just terrible. Like, the last 100 pages were painful for me to get through. Like, I took an entire... It took me an entire evening to get through the last 100 pages, which it should have taken me, like, an hour or less. But I just couldn't do it. I'd, like, read a little bit and then be like, oh, God.
Fuck.
Oh, I gotta go do something else.
Fuck. Ugh.
It was bad. Just so bad. I mean, I could go on and on about all the bad
terrible
things.
it was.
All the bad things in it. Because it was just so many just unnecessary shit thrown into this book for no reason. And, like, everything was underdeveloped. Like, there was no
Well, if
concept.
there's that much going on, like, they can't fully develop
And
anything.
I know that there's supposed to be a sequel, but I'm like, most of the characters are dead. So even these, like, poorly developed characters were in there for no reason. You know, it was just... it was awful.
So, to switch gears, the second book that I read was The Hobbit. And I fucking loved this. I'm so glad I finally read it. It was so good. So good. And it was easy to read. It was like... Because I've read Lord of the Rings, and Tolkien gets pretty involved.
Yeah.
In Lord of the Rings. And he's not quite as involved in The Hobbit, but I love it. I think this was like my favorite book I've read so far this year. So, even more than The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet.
Ooh.
Right?
Ooh.
Yeah. Turning the tables, y'all. Turning the tables.
Alright, the next book I completed, this one counted for the book I read after dark, as well as it also has yellow on the cover, and it's older than me. It was published in like 81, I think.
Okay.
But it's 666 by Jay Anson, he also wrote the Amityville Horror, which I'm sure everyone's probably familiar with.
Probably so.
And it's another horror novel.
That's what he does. Also, show the back of that book, because he looks like a creepy-ass motherfucker.
Well, he kind of...
Of course he writes horror. He's either going to write horror, or he's going to write some weird, like, pornographic shit. Of course he writes horror.
I could see that. There was nothing really pornographic in this one, thankfully. He didn't have a weird fixation with it like that other guy did. But this one, it's pretty similar to the Amityville Horror. Like, it almost felt like he kind of ripped himself off a little bit. Basically, this couple gets back from vacation, and there's a house has appeared beside them that wasn't there before. Okay. And they're like, what the fuck? And then the husband goes into the house to look around, and some weird shit happens while he's in there. And then some really creepy, crazy stuff goes down. But I kind of liked this book. I mean, the writing wasn't fantastic. He overused exclamation points a lot.
He was really excited.
Yeah. But I ended up giving it 3 stars. Like, it was decent if you're into, you know, if you like the Amityville Horror, I guess you would probably like this one, since it's pretty similar. But yeah, it was not bad. It was kind of creepy, and it was actually kind of cool. Like, I don't want to give it away or anything, but what was going on with the house was actually kind of cool.
Really?
Yeah.
I might have to borrow that book. All right, so the next book that I read was Bad Marie by Marcy Dermansky. This is the book I read only at night. This book did not have a plot synopsis on the back, nor did it have one on Goodreads. Michael from Knowledge Lost put a plot synopsis on Goodreads because he's awesome. I just bought this book because it was Dollar Bag Day, and the title cracked me up. And so I was like, whatever. And it was kind of mysterious because there was no synopsis. This book is horrible. It's bad. It's about this girl named Marie who... She gets a job. She gets out of... First of all, they use the terms jail and prison interchangeably in the book.
Not the same.
Not the same thing. It irritates me. Anywho. So she gets out of prison, and her friend has a child, and her friend hires her to nanny for her child.
Hire someone who's just got out of prison.
None of the characters in this book are smart or likable. Fair warning. So then Marie gets drunk on the job, and she takes a bath with the little girl, and her friend and her friend's husband come in and find her passed out in the bathtub. taking a bath with their daughter. Her friend's husband sees her. He's attracted to her because, you know, lady getting drunk and naked in front of your kid is totally a turn on. And then Marie gets fired from this gig from her friend because she's drunk and naked in a bathtub with their child, and decides that she's going to steal her friend's husband and fuck him. It's real dumb. Like, they run away to Paris. He fucks another girl right in front of her, so she takes off with his kid. It's horrible. It's like a bad soap opera, and I hated every single character in this book, including the kid. Bad.
Alright, well, the next one I finished, I got this on dollar bag day at the library sale as well, I think. Also, I got 666 that day, too.
Oh, yeah, you did.
But this one deviated from our TBR, but I read The Flowers of War by Gailing Yan.
Okay.
It's translated from Chinese by Nikki Harmon. And I chose to read this because not only is it short, but also the movie was on Netflix.
Nice.
So I was like, hey, I can read this and watch the movie, and then that's that.
Right.
That's that challenge.
Yeah.
So I did that. The book, I don't know, I kind of had mixed feelings about it. It's based on a true story, and it's set in Nanjing, China during World War II, during the Nanjing Massacre. It's set at this church where these like 13 and 14-year-old schoolgirls live there, and so they're trying to protect these girls from the Japanese army who want comfort women, as they would call them.
Okay.
And then these prostitutes come over the wall and like sneak in over the wall and like demand to be given shelter at this church. And it was a really good story, but in the book I didn't really become all that connected to any of the characters at all. So it was kind of like, I don't know, I didn't feel like, I think I felt more emotionally connected when I watched the movie.
Okay.
Like the movie made me cry a little bit.
Oh.
But the book didn't. The movie is also more graphic.
Okay.
Like the violence is very graphic. There is rape in it. It's much more violent and brutal than the book was. Anyway, I gave the book 3 stars. I don't know. I kind of maybe would be more like 3.5 or something, because it was pretty good, and the movie was also pretty good. Okay, that'd be my assessment there.
It's pretty good. So the next book I read was Day of the Oprechnik, which is by Vladimir Sorokin and translated by Jamie Gambrell. This book was recommended by
Michael again.
Was it Michael?
Yeah.
Okay, Michael from what, Knowledge Lost?
Knowledge Lost, yeah.
He commented on my review of We by Yevgeny Zamyatin and suggested a couple of other Soviet dystopian novels for me to read. And so I picked up Day of the Oprechnik, and I don't know how I still don't know how I felt about it. It was a really bizarre book. It was about like a day in the life of a like Russian like Secret Service military type person that serves, like, kind of carries out the law or justice for the king. And so part of their job was to like shame and humiliate like diplomatic families or like political families who have fucked up. So like political figures who fucked up, the Oprechniks would show up and like take your kids to the orphanage, rape the shit out of your wife, and then hang you. So really bizarre, lots of drugs, lots of weird sex stuff. There's a rape scene pretty early on in the book. I don't like those. I typically won't finish a book if there's a rape scene in it. I did finish this one. But there's also like a gay orgy scene. There's like what is it? Like a bathhouse.
Like the human centipede.
Yeah, they just like gear up, but their genitals have been altered by like Chinese surgeons, and they glow different colored lights. And so they all just like line up in the bathhouse and
glowworm.
like glowworm each other. Yeah, they just like train each other and like to fuck each other, which is, I mean, that's consensual. So that scene I was fine with. But like, I don't know what happened. The book was so weird, and like the way that like women were discussed in the book was just not cool, which I feel like wasn't really the author's stance on women. I think it was like part of the story, part of the like to set the attitude of the time.
Right.
But it was just such a weird book. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars because I was pretty like, that's a neutral, for me that's like a neutral rating, because I really don't know how I felt about it. I don't know. It was so weird. I don't have any idea.
I started reading The Hobbit for my read a book by a favorite author.
Yes.
Because I do love Lord of the Rings, but I also, for some reason, never read The Hobbit. So I started it, but I got about 100 pages in, and so I haven't finished it yet, but I am loving it.
It's so good.
I expect to finish it here in the next couple of days.
I forgot to mention that I read The Hobbit for my favorite author and book-to-movie adaptation. The last book that I finished was The Pint Man by Steve Rushin, and it's my book with yellow on the cover because there's beer on it right there. This book was a dude rom-com.
Oh dear.
And I gave it 3 out of 5 stars because that's my neutral rating, because I do not like rom-coms. But they referenced a lot of different beers in this. They talked about some cool bars in it. And they also referenced a lot of literature.
Oh. I kind of want to read it because I like rom-coms and I like all those other things.
You may like it. At a couple points, the main character is a little bit pretentious because he kind of like corrects people's grammar on a couple different occasions, and he goes on like some ranty spiels where he like quotes literature and discusses like great writers, and so he's a little pretentious. And then there's that whole rom-com thing, and it's super dudish. Like there's a point in which a dude says to another dude, "Let me tell you something about women." If you ever say that, you don't know jack fuck all about women. Let me just say. If you ever say to someone, "Let me tell you something about women," you don't know anything. Because that's a really broad, like that's a sweeping statement and you're an idiot. But, so not the most feminist book in the world. But yeah, ultimately 3 out of 5 stars. I liked all the beer talk. There were some funny moments in it I enjoyed, so... And like the dive bar that they hang out in, like there were certain stories from that reminded me of our dive bar. So that was kind of cool, but yeah. So all in all, not terrible.
All right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess all in all, I finished 3 books, started on a 4th, and I completed 5 challenges.
I read 5 books and completed 6 challenges.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
So Megan kicked my ass, but it's alright. Because I still did decent.
You
especially
did well.
Considering by Saturday, I had still only completed 1 book.
You kicked ass like at the very, like you came up from behind.
Yeah, because I finished 666 at like 4 o'clock in the morning on like Sunday morning. And then I read all of The Flowers of War Sunday and watched the movie.
Damn. But seriously though, y'all who completed, like y'all who read 7 books, share your secrets with me, please.
Yeah, I was watching Graham, I think is his name. Mega Man Chief Fan is his channel.
Man Chief
I was
Fan.
watching his, it wasn't even his wrap-up video. He still had like 2 days to go and he'd finished 9 books.
What the fuck?
And they were like full-length books. I mean like, not like
short.
You know what I mean? Like they weren't little short books like this. They were like
book
regular.
books. What the fuck, man?
What the fuck, Graham?
How you do this? Share your secrets of life with us. Cause fuck, man, this BookTube-A-Thon was hard. I had to stay up past my bedtime one night to read a book. I don't do that. I go to bed at 11, and if anything happens past 11, it can fuck off. But I sit up until like 1 o'clock reading.
I stay up late anyway, but I was just, my brain was elsewhere. I was not wanting to read.
So I always had kind of wondered, like, in Lord of the Rings, why the fuck didn't they just call the eagles at the beginning? But then this book answers that question.
Oh.
Kind of.
Okay.
Yeah. They won't fly in certain areas. Like, they won't go into certain territories. Like, they're not just like Gandalf's little, like, beck and call eagles. Like
messenger pigeons.
Right. Like they've got a hierarchy of their own and they won't fly in certain areas.
I see.
So, interesting.
Nice cover, Tolkien.
Clever as fuck. Have you seen the epic rap battle between him and George R.R. Martin?
Yeah. I think I've seen all the epic rap battles.
I love some epic rap battles. But that one and the Nikola Tesla one are my two favorites. Tolkien dominated George R.R. Martin, in my opinion, and Tesla obviously dominated Edison because...
Obviously.
Fuck you, Edison.
They need to have a Caligula versus Nero. What do you think, Caligula?
Quiggles, would you participate?
He's like, I kicked that Nero's ass.
I'll kick his ass, Mimi. He just got a haircut. He looks super handsome.
Mm-hmm. He looks like a little rat.
Looks so handsome.
He looks like a deer rat because he has long legs.
Oh, he was way cuter than a rat, huh? He was cute.
He's like,
don't touch my paw.
Don't touch me.
Don't touch it.
I am Caligula.
I'm tough.
Emperor of Rome.
I'm so tough. He's like, I'm so done with you guys' shit. Like, I can't.
All right, should we wrap this shit up? We've been rambling for a while.
We have
Let's
been.
talk about
This
still
beer.
like the beer.
I still
like
this
it.
beer.
It's maybe
good.
not my favorite like coffee stout ever,
No.
but it's pretty good.
It's not like as rich as some coffee stouts. Like, it's not as like deep and rich and...
Yeah, it's not. But it's
It's pretty good.
very drinkable.
Very drinkable.
I enjoy it.
And it has a reasonable alcohol content. It's
Yeah.
only like 5.8%.
We weren't about to get trashed on a Monday night.
Nope. Nope.
I gotta work in the morning.
So thank you guys for watching. If you're not already subscribed to us, do it.
Yeah. And there'll be links below where you can find us other places on the internet.
Truth.
And we'll see you next time. Bye.